Hey everybody, how you doing? I'm at the gym getting a workout in. I happen to be following some of the discussion regarding SB 509, the Southern Nevada Tourism and Innovation Act, which will contain the legislation that will get some public financing to the athletics for their proposed new stadium. And there is a gigantic misunderstanding, okay? First of all, Jonah Jacob is not Jessica Colvin. Who is Jessica Colvin? I know Jessica. Jessica is the Clark County Finance Director. So my point is that Jonah Jacob is in no position to answer the question that was tossed of her by the Nevada legislature, at least the member that asked the question at that point. And if she knew, let me put it this way, if Jonah Jacob understood bond issues, her answer would be, well, first of all, that's for next week, but I'm happy to say that the way it's proposed to be structured, the revenue that is anticipated to be raised will pay for the bond issue, and there will be a coverage ratio enough such that the general fund is not touched. That's what she should have said, okay? That's an easy answer. You hit it out of the park. You go on about the next one. Thank you for just joining me, folks. What I'm talking about is the fact that those people out there who think that the person who spoke on SB 509 is the ultimate authority on it, when first of all, the discussion wasn't about SB 509. It was about an entirely other matter. And Jonah Jacob is her name. She's the Government Affairs Manager. She is not Jessica Colvin. Jessica Colvin is the person who is the Clark County Finance Director. She was the Finance Director when the Raiders deal went down, which gets me to my other point. I'm going to tweak this out for 1 second here. Hold on a second. I just want to make sure I've got this put out here because it's a bit annoying. A second. Paste. Okay. Tweet. All right, I got that out there. Okay, so my point is, again, thanks for you just joining me. I'm talking about Jonah Jacob is the Clark County Finance Director. Excuse me, there I go. Is the Clark County Government Affairs Manager. She is not the Finance Director. I repeat, she is not the Finance Director, okay? The Finance Director is Jessica Colvin, who I'm acquainted with. How? Because I'm the person that told Ms. Colvin that the Raider bond issue was not going to be adequately paid for by the revenues because the rate was only at 88/100, so 1% as opposed to the needed 1%, all right? So now, fast forward to today, and you know what? I have to say, were you A's fans just like asleep at the wheel when this is going down? Because the fact of the matter is the bond issue that they're talking about is 1/5 the size of what they gave the Raiders. The Raiders was $750 million. This one it's not even $380 million because if you take the $180 million in tax credits, that's actually the risk is on the A's. The A's have to actually use those credits. And not only that, the way the tax credit works, I'm actually going to do one later tonight, Peanut Butter. Thanks for asking. I'm just behind schedule. But the way I'm talking about the person that was referred to on Twitter, but Brody Brazil was saying that she was talking about, preliminary talks about SB 509. It wasn't. And he needs to correct that. And look, I don't talk to him. I understand that he has some issues about how the deal is going down and all that stuff. But my point is this. Don't hide from what people are trying to explain. If you don't understand the financing, ask. If you don't understand the who's who, ask. Because we've been there before. Raiders fans who are upset about what was going on have been there before. And now I hear all this garbage about, the market isn't big enough. Las Vegas draws 40 million tourists a year. Oakland draws 3 million. Do the freaking math, okay? There's an old saying, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. I am not going to be fooled a second time, all right? I bought into the idea that, our market is better than ours from a television standpoint, but not from a visitor standpoint. From a visitor standpoint, the problem that we have in Oakland is we draw 3 million. We have the Bay Area that we're competing against. Las Vegas draws 40 million. And you know what the center of attraction is? The Strip. Where are the A's trying to be? The Strip. All right? Go figure. Okay? They don't compare that way. All right? If you want them to compare, you have to do the hard work of building up the Oakland economy, all right? So that the manufacturing, incentives, convention, and entertainment industry is better than it is. 5,000 hotel rooms doesn't cut it. 10,000, 15,000 will. No stadium, that's state-of-the-art. We don't have a state-of-the-art stadium. We need one. We have all these folks, including my friends in the African American Sports and Entertainment Group, who are playing Oakland politics, where the politicians like to show their face, all right? It needs to be specialists. It needs to be a task force. If you A's fans want to do something, start a task force, all right? Start an effort to get the A's back where you say, okay, we're going to work on reestablishing the deal ourselves. Like, you're upset, you're doing a mutiny on the ship. You're upset where it's going, you mutiny. You say, hey, look, we're taking this over. We're going to make you establish the tax increment financing zone. We're going to put you on, make you establish a public financing authority. We're going to make you do these things, okay? Because they haven't done them. Government hasn't worked. Will you please realize that's the problem? All right? If you guys are too lazy to do that, just say it. Just be honest. Because it's easy to get on social media and blab or write stuff about on accounts that are not in your identity, okay? Any bozo can do that, all right? But my point is, if you really want some change, you do the work of actually establishing institutions to fix institutions. I've done it. I did it with the Oakland Downtown Coalition. I did it with the Oakland Alameda County Sports Commission. I came that close to bringing the Super Bowl to Oakland, all right? Can you do it? You're younger than I am. I'm 60 now. I'll be 61. I have to tell you guys these things, all right? My point is, there's no reason at all that people shouldn't be active in that way. But all this flailing around and trying to mischaracterize things, give yourselves a break. Give everybody a break and stop doing it. All right? Miss Jonah is not, Miss Jacob, Jonah is not the person qualified to even talk about a bond issue. She isn't. Jessica Colvin is the person who is. Jessica Colvin is the person who is the Clark County Finance Director. She's the one. Jonah's not prepared. She doesn't have the mind for it. She doesn't understand bond finance. She is a government affairs manager. There's a reason she has that title. She is a manager. She's government affairs manager. Okay? So that's it. So taking what she says and thinking, oh, this deal is bad, or you're going to make some judgment about it, you're going to wind up with egg on your face. Straight up. It ain't happening. All right? This thing is moving at light speed. You have to remember, you're looking at one thing, the A's are about something else. They got a proposal off to Phil Ruffin. They got Bally's they're dealing with. And they put together that photograph, that stadium rendition in haste. That's why they used the Coliseum. Because they knew, and lobbyists knew, that they needed to have a pretty picture to justify what they wanted. They need to have a vision, because the A's had not communicated their vision. They're scrambling around trying to do things with less money. Remember, with Howard Terminal, they communicated the idea that, hey, look, we're going to have this thing built for $12 million. But they said to me, Dave Cobble said twice, we need a development partner. And he didn't have to say it. I knew he did. You don't build something like Howard Terminal at $12 billion by yourself. Anybody who thinks you can and do it is an idiot. All right? Straight up, idiot. This is about getting stuff done. And you guys covering for Oakland, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. And covering for the mayor, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. The mayor didn't, I'm talking about both Libby and Shang have done nothing but put their face in it. You believe everything they say. Don't question them. Don't do any critical thinking. And you think the problem is going to go away? It's not going to go away. Wake up, will ya? Come on, McFly. Hello? I'm talking to you. All of you guys. All right? Do the hard part. Criticize the Oakland government. I say hard because you haven't done it. Let's be honest. You haven't. You're afraid. I don't know if you think they're mafioso or something and they'll come knocking at your door. I'm getting that impression. Because, some of you act like you don't want to piss them off. You got folks in the media that don't. No one is putting any pressure on them other than me, okay? The rest of you are afraid to talk. You're afraid to bash the city. The city needs bashing. It's been doing this for a generation. You got Elmano Gonzalez on Twitter, yakking about this stuff like, this wasn't a problem until he was born. And even when he was born, he wasn't aware of it, okay? And all of a sudden, now that he's an adult, hey, San Francisco media doesn't write about us. And, no one talks great about Oakland. Amano, this has been going on for a damn generation, boy. I'm saying it just like that, all right? It's been going on for a damn generation, okay? A generation is, generation's 30 years, man. It's been going on that long. You're going to turn around and change it with a tweet? Come on, you're not. Most of the population isn't on Twitter to begin with. So stop this self-congratulation that you've done something because you put something on Twitter. You haven't. You don't even own Twitter. You're not even making money off Twitter. And some of you are paid by the city. Brandon Haramy had 29, who was Shangtao's aide, 29 Twitter accounts. Fake. All right? Seneca Scott ran a spreadsheet of all of his accounts. All right? So how do I know that those people who come at me with these unnamed, unhuman accounts aren't one of them? I have a right to say, hey, look, you're paid. Period. Do I want to get paid for this? Heck no. I have had 37 years of abuse by the city of Oakland. You hear me? For stuff that I came this close to laying the groundwork for the Times Square, the West Coast, and Uptown. All right? That was 1997. I brought Forest City to Oakland. Jerry Brown stole them from me. I have skins on my wall. What you got? Nothing. Okay? All right? I don't care how you feel about me or whatever. You shouldn't have any negative feeling about me at all. If you do, there's something wrong with you. There really is. There's something wrong with you. You want to learn something? Ask. If you want to figure out why something's so down, ask. You know why? Because my counterparts, most of them have passed away. That's why. That's a fact. Your current project manager with Uptown is a consultant now. Where is she? All right? Was she allowed to speak? No, she was silent. And when she did talk about tax income and financing revenue, she said, well, it's a present value calculation. It's not. It's a straight line year-to-year calculation, and you're trying to figure out how much money you have to pay off your bond debt service each year. So you've got to know your bond cost. She didn't even know the bond cost was going to be, and no one asked her. So I point out these errors, and you're like, well, we don't listen to this. I don't care that you don't listen to me. It doesn't mean I'm wrong. It just means some of you are just not smart. I'm saying it just like that. And I don't care, because you don't do any paperwork to prove that I'm wrong. You don't. And if you did, think about just logical conclusion. If you prove that I was wrong, okay, wouldn't the A's be here? Yeah, they would be. But they're not for a reason. And every single video that I've done with Dave Covell reveals where that is. It lays it out. He was telegraphing it. Heck, he was screaming it. Because I was asking him, where are we with Vegas? Where are we with Oakland? And you could line up all my videos with Dave, and you would do a timeline of how things are going, when they changed, and why. All right? The city screwed this up big time. If the city had any cojones, it would have went and bought. It would have said, you know what, I'm going to buy land just to keep the A's from buying any land. And then, you know what, if they want to buy it, we'll make a deal with them. We'll buy it, and then we'll give it back to them and say, hey, it was us, stay in Oakland. All right? There's all kinds of things that Oakland could really have done. Economic development people, good ones, are ruthless. All right? We're not ruthless. Oakland lets things happen to it. We're not ruthless, okay? We're not. We used to be. Oh, we used to be blankety blanks. But not today. We're wallflowers. We let things happen, and we play victim all the time, and it's always somebody else's fault. Give me a break. I'm tired of this stuff. It's our fault. All right? And pointing fingers and getting mad at each other isn't going to help either. It is our collective fault. It's me for not being blankety blank enough, more so than I should have been. I should have filed an injunction against the city to make it work. You hear what I'm saying? failed. Again, we failed. And we keep failing, and we don't admit it, and the city looks like crap, and the city shows it. We failed. Period. End of story. All right? And those of you young who are watching this, take a lesson. You want something done? Don't wait for somebody else. You do it. I don't care if it's starting a company. I don't care what it is. You do it. All right? You take the action. And filling up that stadium, which I hope is done in July, but got news for you. Other than media attention, it's not going to make a hill beans of difference. You better pray that stadium gets filled up because of the ginning up. You start a task force. You start an effort to build stuff. You start an effort to revive the Coliseum. That's where you show you're serious. You don't say, I'm just going to organize people. Who cares? Everybody thinks they're a doggone community organizer now. That is not going to get the job done. What will get it done is building something, telling people you want this thing financed, telling people you want to lay the groundwork so the A's have a reason to come back. Right now, the A's have no reason to come back. They got no entitlements at all. Nothing. A half blankety-blank approved EIR thing? Nothing. Half the people in the city thinking, why do you need it? You have council members who spoke out against it for the most part, then turn around later when they realize, oh, it's real? Because they're being progressive? I mean, come on, give me a break. All right? Being progressive is the worst thing that's happened to the Democratic Party. And as a person who originally signed on to it, I'm telling you it was. It has destroyed us. Even defunding the police. You know what it's got us? It's got us to a situation where people are buying private security, so not only the rich can afford the private security, all the poor who work in the urban areas can't afford it, and they're defunding the police. They can't afford it because the crime is going up. So it's horrible. I mean, the situation, the state of affairs is junk. All right? It's absolute junk. So don't even think you're going to stop Vegas from doing that. Yeah, Vegas has got its problems, but Vegas is still ran by casinos. Don't think it's not. Don't ever get it in your mind that casinos in Las Vegas don't matter. Because if the casinos want this, the casinos get it. The unions want it, the unions get it. Don't think Tillman Fertitta is going to turn around and save us. Because Tillman's not. Tillman knows how important baseball is to Las Vegas. He knows that it's important to have a baseball ballpark there. He would love it at the Tropicana because it's not far from where he wants to build his new casino. So why is he going to chase that away? Answer, he's not going to do it. Okay? He's not going to get involved in that. Invest in the A's? Sure, if the price is right for him or for anybody else. But just like anybody else, they gotta pay some scratch. That's the way Vegas is. You gotta pay some scratch. So that's it, all right? So I'm letting you all know right now, don't believe that stuff. And you want change, start a task force. Reestablish the Oakland Alameda County Sports Commission that I started, okay? That's what I'm talking about. Subscribe to Zenny62, bookmark oaklandnewsnowblog.com and Zenny62.com. I don't mind you disagreeing with me. You want to come on my show and disagree with me? Come on. I invite that. All right? I love to argue. Why? Because I don't think you guys can actually, the ones of you who are picking at me without using your own face, I don't think you can actually argue with me about this effectively, face to face, even in the video, all right? And come out the winner. You can't. All right? Because of the nature of it. It has to do with what the development and developers do and what economic development does and how financing works, and that's not your forte. Okay? It isn't. Now, am I sad about all this? Yeah, I'm sad about, you're doggone right, but I cried a year ago. I cried I went through so many tears about this because of the way the city of Oakland is. And you have to remember something, but if you didn't know this, back in 1997, I'm the person on the Community Economic Development Agency for Elihu Harris who raised the issue of the A's needing a stadium. Nate Miley, who was our council member then, said, we already paid for $200 million to get the Raiders back, and now we have to think about the A's? I said, yeah, because it's not state of the art. It wasn't. That was 1997, folks. Again, 1997. Where were you in 97? I'm listening. Huh? Where were you? I'm listening. Answer me. Where were you in 1997? I was working for Elihu. All right? I raised the issue. All right? We had choose or lose the A's. Did you know Chris DeBenedetti was part of that? Did you also know that Chris DeBenedetti, who says he's a journalist, okay, doesn't want to tell you that he was also working on behalf of Ron Dellums and established the Sports Entertainment Council, okay? And he knows that Ron didn't handle that right, and I told him. All right? Chris has been as much a part of this as anybody else. He knows what the real deal is. He tries to sit back and act like he's like totally objective and, oh, he's got these, everything is bad and he doesn't talk about government. He was part of it. Chris and I had that kind of, when I'm bringing it to you, we had that argument back then. All right? I said to Chris, stop playing both sides of the fence. It won't work for you. It'll only get you bounced. And that's what happened. Ron Dellums had us on the committee. He was the head of it. He was the chair. You know what Dellums did? Dellums had Doug Boxer, Barbara Boxer's son, had him start another committee. There were 4 committees going. The chamber had its own committee. It was a mess. I said, hey, look, I quit. And I publicized it. You know why? Because we were being treated like crap. The mayor, Dellums, was supposed to get all of us together. He's playing one person off against the other. That's ridiculous stuff, folks. There are so many mistakes about this that they fill a book and 3 freaking movies. Do you hear me? 3. Not 1, not 2, 3. Okay? Wake up, will you? Please. Oh, all right. I'll see you.